Hello, dog. I'm fine. How are you? One moment. Okay, I'm here. If I can get my chair adjusted right. There we go. Yes, I just started, everybody. I'm a little bit later today than I normally am. I usually try to start by 9 or 10, but it's 10:30 now. So, yeah. I should start telling people it's more like somewhere between 9 and 11. That's what I should tell people when I start. Some mornings I start earlier, some mornings I start later. It depends on how many private lessons I have to teach in the morning. It depends how tired I am. It depends how busy I am with other things. Hello, Hashem. Okay, if you have questions, you should ask me your questions. If you have questions about English, ask me questions about English. If you have questions about grammar, ask me questions about grammar. If you have questions about whatever, then ask me. Am I still teaching on I teach on my website. If you want private lessons, you can buy them from me directly, and you can buy lessons on my website. Yes, I still teach. Hello, Carolina. Good morning. What's the difference between reticent and reserved? So reserved is, let me think about that. Hold on. Let me see something. Let's look at the etymology and see if that will help me. Reticent. Comes from the Latin word reticentum, which means reticere, meaning to be silent, to keep silent. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so that's reticent, and reserve, meaning guarded. One moment. So, to be reticent, the word reticent and reserved, they both mean that you feel unsure about what you're going to do in a way. But reserved is more like to hold back your thoughts, your judgment. I'm going to reserve my judgment until later. Or you could say he's more reserved, meaning more cautious. More cautious. He waits to hear, waits to see what's going to happen first, right? Reticent would just be more like hesitant to do it. Which the original meaning of reticent is to be silent. So, yeah, that means more like you're unwilling to say something. Okay? So I'm reticent to say something means I'm unwilling to say something, or I feel it might be difficult or troubling if I tell you something. You might be upset, you know? Let's see what ChatGPT says, or AI says. Let's see. Reticent versus reserved. Right. Reserved describes somebody who is self-controlled and doesn't readily show their feelings, while reticent specifically means a reluctance or unwillingness to speak. So that's pretty much what I said. So reserved means you're reserving your judgment, you're reserving your thoughts, you're reserving your will until later. So you're not showing your feelings until you decide what you want to do, right? But reticent is more the unwillingness or reluctance to speak. Okay? Am I on this blog? What blog? What blog, Shisan? Oh, I did not sleep well. What do I mean by what? What do I mean by I did not sleep well? I mean I did not sleep well. I did not have good sleep. Okay, if you have questions, then ask me your questions. It's fall right now. It's fall here where I live, and so the season is changing, right? So the temperatures are changing. So 2 weeks ago it was pretty hot, and now it's pretty cool. And 2 weeks ago it was really dry, and now it's really wet. And every year this happens, and I have something called tendinitis. I have something called tendinitis, which means that the tendons in my arms are injured. It's a drumming injury. It's a common drumming injury. Many drummers have it. But every time this happens, every time the seasons change from summer to fall, I get pain in my arms, all the way down to my hands, inside my arms and hands, and you can't sleep. I'll fall asleep and then I'll wake up in pain, so it sucks. No fun, but I'll be fine in a week or two. The translation from translation software is inaccurate. Okay, then what did you want to ask me? What's the difference between hold off or put off? Put off means wait until later. Hold off could be wait until later. Sometimes they mean the same thing. I'm going to hold off. Hold off could have an. Well, how do I explain this? Let me think. Wait a minute. Put off sounds like later. It's a hard one because hold off and put off, they do mean the same thing sometimes. This happens in English a lot. So there is a difference occasionally, but not always. Let me see something. Hold off is typically used to mean delaying the start of an action or preventing someone from or something from happening, right? So yeah, hold off until later, right? If I say, let's see. Maybe I'm thinking about buying a new car. I'm thinking about buying a new car, but so the prices are going to go down. So that means I have decided to hold off until later to make my decision on what car to buy. So I'm waiting. I'm waiting. That's a deliberate decision to wait. Put off also means to delay until later time, but it usually implies procrastination. Like, you did it because you were procrastinating. Like, not a good idea. It's not a good thing, right? Hold off means you meant to. Put off could mean you meant to sometimes in some cases, but usually it means that you're waiting until later because you procrastinated, not because of a good decision or because of prudence or patience or anything. It's just because you're procrastinating. Okay? All right, let's see. Can I say I had a fitful sleep or restless sleep? Yes. Yeah, we usually say restless sleep, or we just say I didn't sleep well. I think that's the most common way, is just to say I slept poorly, I slept badly, I didn't sleep well. I'm drinking iced coffee. Your arms also have pain when the weather changes, Jia? Yeah, me too. What's the difference between completed and finished? Nothing. No, completed and finished do mean the same thing. Okay, I completed my homework, I finished my homework. Same thing. Okay, Arun, there are many, 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 many English words that mean exactly the same thing. Okay, let's see. Hello, Asma. Hello, everyone. Your English level is still A2B1, but I really love listening to Parker, who's a debater on TikTok. May I know if, as time goes on, it will help me? I don't know who Parker is. I have no idea. That's probably not very valuable for your English right now, okay? JNN. You need to separate what you like from what you need, okay? Liking the content of something has nothing to do with whether it is valuable for you. So what I'm saying is, maybe there could be other people you could listen to who would be much more valuable for you for English learning, right? So but that has nothing to do with your English learning. Don't put those two together, okay? Focus on finding podcasts that... I'm fine, everyone. Yes. No, not in English. In English, I don't think there's any formality difference. They're the same level. I've completed my homework. I've finished my homework. I see no difference. None. Okay? I am eating something and I want to invite something to join in. How can I say it in one word? Why do you need to say it in one word? We would just say, would you like to join us? Or would you like to join me? That's what we would say. Would you like to join me? I have more than enough for everyone. Would you like to join me? Okay? I don't think we have one word that would invite. Okay, you could just say, please. And if you show your hands, like if you have food here on the table and you say, please, people know that means, please, help yourself. Okay? When should I use despite versus in spite of versus although? So despite and in spite of are the same, and you can just use them, use in spite of the first time, and then use despite the next time, and then use although the next time. That's why we have so many words that mean the same thing in English, because we don't like to say the same word over and over again. Okay? In English, we don't like it if you say, yesterday I had a big pizza on a big table with my big friend Joe, who has a really big mouth and a really big head. We don't do that. People would think your English is terrible because you don't know another word other than big. Yesterday I had lunch with my I had a big pizza on a huge table with my giant friend who has enormous ears and a tremendously huge head. Right? We use a different word each time. We like that. All right? All right. I'm stuck on level B1. How can I get rid of that level? Well, you can't get rid of that level, but if you want to move to a higher level, then you must study higher level things. So, Mozab, if you're at B1, then that means you're doing B1 reading, B1 listening, B1 speaking, B1 writing, B1 thinking, B1 grammar, B1 vocabulary, and B1 pronunciation. Are you doing all of those? Did you do all of those? If you did, now you need to try to start to study B2 vocabulary. Are you studying B2 grammar? Are you studying B2 reading? Are you listening to B2 level things? You have to push yourself. Okay? If you always stay at the same level, it's because you did not push yourself. Okay? Gory Go-Go says my camera is not clear. Is my camera clear, everyone? So if my camera is not clear, then what does that mean? If many people say it's clear, but it's not clear for you, so what does that mean? It means my picture is fine. This is called the internet. This is a 1080 camera. I'm on 1080. I assure you, it's clear. All right? All right, next question. Let's see. Hello, Tomas. Oh, is there a single word to say that in Arabic? Ah, I didn't realize that. I didn't know that. Well, we don't have that. That's nice for you, but we don't have that. Let's see. Simultaneously. Well, yeah. You should have 8 things that you are working on all the time. You need a plan to study those 8 areas. Okay, so yes, you need to work on all 8 at the same time. So make a schedule. Like Monday, I'm going to do reading, from 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock, right? Then I'll do writing in the evening from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, whatever. Come up with a schedule for yourself, all right? Massive, huge, what else? There are tons of words for big. Hold on a minute. God, I hate when apps have commercials now. It's so stupid. The world is a stupid place now. All right. Big, colossal, considerable, enormous, fat, full, gigantic, hefty, huge, immense, massive, sizable, substantial, tremendous, vast, ample, brimming, bulky, burly, capacious, chock full, commodious, copious, crowded, mammoth, mondo, humongous, hulking, husky, jumbo, monster, oversized, packed, prodigious, super colossal, voluminous. Well, though that's not quite the same, but yeah, those are all words that mean big. I don't need to clean my screen. I'm telling you that is not the problem. Guys, I'm not using my phone. I'm using my computer. And on my computer, I have a webcam. And that webcam is a 1080 webcam. And it is perfectly clear, and I know that, because I'm also streaming on YouTube right now. And my YouTube is perfectly clear. So, you need to remember this is the internet, and sometimes the connection is the problem. Okay? I assure you, it's clear. Besides, I'm not that pretty. Why do you care? Which one is more clear? I don't know. I never use my phone. I only use my computer to do live streams. Okay? What's my YouTube channel? It's this one. Okay, now, oh, my arm. Let's see. Learning a language requires a real commitment. Yeah, I agree. Oh. Taylor. What's your question, Taylor? Taylor, you need to make your question shorter because it's too long. I don't know what you're talking about because it gets cut off. So make it short so I know what you're asking. Why do you struggle with pronouncing the word girl? Because it has the R and the L right next to each other, and that's tough for many people. Okay? Make your mouth bigger. Girl. La 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 la. Girl. Girl. And at the end of the word, I want you to l, girl. Do that for now. You're not going to do that forever, but for now. When we are children, we native speakers, we are taught to pronounce the words by over-pronouncing the sound of the end of the word. Okay? So, book, right? Or walked, or girl, right? So, over-pronounce the end and you'll start getting better. Okay. Okay. Why do people think about criticizing more than compliments? Taylor, why do you worry more about criticism than compliments? Why do you worry about it? The problem is not them, Taylor. The problem is not them. The problem is you. Why are you thinking about other people? Don't care about them, man. You have to be strong and care about yourself. This is your learning journey. This is yours. This is not about anybody else. Okay? This is not about anybody else. All right? What happened? I can't put a comment, Mosab. That's because I now have something on my YouTube that says you cannot comment unless you've been on for a week. Right? But no, I see your comments. Those are your comments right there. Hi, teacher, greeting from that app. That's you, right? So I can see your comment. But you're supposed to you have to be a subscriber for 1 week or more to make comments in YouTube. Okay, now let's see. If you go to YouTube and come back, can you do that? Yes, you can, but my YouTube is going to be delayed, so it's not live there. This is live on Hello Talk, but the YouTube, I think, has, I don't know, like 20 seconds of delay or something like that. It's got some delay, so it won't sound exactly like what this is because it's late. All right? Okay, now is the time when I'm going to tell you some advice, okay? 1, if you are a good students have questions. If you don't have questions, look at me. If you don't have questions, you are not a good student. Okay? That's number 1. Number 2 is you have to have good questions. You have to have good questions. And let me tell you something. Okay? How can I be good in English? That's not a good question. That's not a good question. How to learn well? That's not a good question. 这是太大的问题。如果你要知道如果你要学英文，你需要听我、看我，每天的，每天你看我，你可以学 ，OK？ 可是你的问题就是太大的问题。All right? So, ask small questions. Ask small questions. Okay? The questions that are big, I can't answer because it's too big. Okay? If you say, how can I be good at English? I'm going to give you a book. I'm going to give you a book and say, here's a book, go read it. Here's a book about how to learn English, go read it. So don't ask a question that needs a book for an answer. Let me say that again. Don't ask a question that needs a book for an answer. Okay? So 2 things. Good students have questions. If you don't have questions, you're not a good student. And if you have questions, make them good questions. Questions that can be answered, not questions that I need to answer with a book. All right? Now, next question. Let's see. How much time should I study grammar to have a good study plan? Nina, that's different for everyone. That depends on you. That depends on how important is grammar to you. Do you need really formal, perfect English? Maybe you need to learn English really well because you teach English, or maybe you need to use it for a job. You're a lawyer and you deal with English clients, so you have to have perfect English. That means you need to study grammar more. But maybe you just want English for traveling and for friendship online. So you're not worried about perfect grammar, so you don't need to study grammar so much. Okay? And then I don't know how much grammar you know. Have you already learned a lot, or do you know nothing? So it's different for everyone. It's different for everyone. What I would say is, if you have something that you really want to study, you should study it at least 30 minutes every day. So if grammar is important to you, and if you really want to work on your grammar, then you should do at least 30 minutes every day. At least. What's the difference between past perfect and present perfect? So past perfect, it's kind of confusing. Past perfect is talking about things that started in the past, that were finished in the past. Okay? Present perfect is also talking about things that happened in the past, but in the very, very recent past, like just now. Okay? So present perfect is talking about things that, well, for example, let me give you some examples. Hold on. I have finished my homework. If I say I have finished my homework, that just happened. That's present perfect. It would be weird if I said I have finished my homework last year. That doesn't make sense. Okay? So, past perfect is talking about things that you did in the past that finished in the past. Okay? Last year, we went to Chicago in May. Or no, let me say this way. Hold on. I'll give you there's another good example. Hold on. Past. There we go. Here's the other example I wanted. They had painted the fence before I got home. So that means that the fence was finished. So here's now. Okay, and the fence was finished before I got home. And here's now. Before I got home, the fence was finished. And so here's, I'm sorry, try this again. Here's now. The fence was finished. Okay, so this is now. I got home. But the fence was finished before I got home. So that's past perfect. All right? So it's they both talk about the past, but present perfect is talking about today. Something that happened today, very recently. Okay? If it's last week, that's present perfect. I'm sorry, past perfect. God, my head. I can't think today. I definitely did not sleep well. I can tell I did not sleep well because my mind is foggy. Okay, next question. Thank you, Bitter. I have not inconvenienced someone. I haven't disturbed someone. Is it correct? What's the difference? Misha, I would say to inconvenience someone is more like asking them to do a favor that's like a big favor, right? So, maybe your friend usually picks you up from school and takes you home, okay? But one time your friend comes to pick you up and you have 10 friends with you and they all want to ride home. And you ask your friend, can you drop them off also? Now you have inconvenienced them. That's not convenient. Picking you up, that's convenient. Dropping off 10 people, that's not convenient. Okay? Disturbing someone is more like bothering someone, right? So I'm sleeping and you're making a bunch of noise. You have disturbed me. Okay, I'm studying and you're making a bunch of noise. You're disturbing me. I'm trying to read and you're making a bunch of noise. You're disturbing me. Okay? Gas cars and electric cars, which one do I prefer? I don't really care. I want the car that is the best money for the value and the best reliability. That's all I care about. Okay? All right. Suggest B2 learners a book for reading. Memo, I will not, because all you need to do is Google that. Type in B2 level reading books. And then maybe you like adventure. Maybe you like romance. Maybe you like science. Maybe you like history. Maybe you like whatever. Do a search online and type in B2 level reading adventure. B2 level reading romance. Okay? That's a question for Google. How can you expand your vocabulary more? You can expand your vocabulary more by going to my blog and reading this article. Please be patient. There are many people who are asking me questions. You have to wait. Okay? And memo. Please stop writing your questions many times. There are 88 people here, so you have to be patient and wait until I see your comment. I will see it. Don't write it 100 times, okay? If everybody does that, then I can't do anything here, okay? Write your comment one time. That's it. All right? What does the suffix crast in the word procrastinate? Why does it mean tomorrow? Well, let's take a look at that. Procrastinate. Let's see. Crastinus. Crastinare. Crastinus comes from the word crass, which means tomorrow. No one knows where crass comes from. That one is too old. So nobody knows where that part of the word comes from. They just know that that part of the word, crass, means tomorrow. Okay, so the way language works, everybody, the way English works, English is a mix of many languages, including Latin and Greek and French and many others. Okay, German, all right, Arabic, Hindi, lots of languages. Okay, but some of those languages, there are earlier languages before those languages. Okay, but those languages are so old that there is no written history. There's only oral history. So, or I should say, there's only written history from a later date talking about the past, but not from a current time of that past. Okay? So, when you talk about where words come from, there does reach a point where it becomes too hard to say. It's too old, and therefore it's too hard to say where it comes from. Okay? Okay. Next question. Let's see. Would I rather choose a boy or a girl to talk to? I would rather choose somebody who has a good question. I don't care if they're a boy or a girl. I want somebody who has a good, curious mind and who's genuinely trying to improve. That's all. Okay, let's see. You still like to ask irrelevant questions? Well, I might not answer them. You've only studied for 15 minutes each day. 这是太短的，这是太少。No. No. 加油，熟能生巧啊 Come on. 15 minutes? No. You spend more time watching TV. However much time you spend doing stupid stuff, you should spend at least that much time studying. That's how you should determine how much you should study. Think about your day and think about how much time you spend doing stupid stuff. Then I want you to do studying at least that much. So if you do 2 hours a day of stupid stuff, like TikTok and YouTube and video games, then you should study for 2 hours a day. Okay, next question. Can we use it for the action in progress from the past until now, or should we use present perfect continuous? That's present perfect continuous, I think, if I understand your question correctly. If it's still continuing, then continuous. Yeah. Yeah, you should not be obsessive in grammar. Don't be obsessive in grammar. Not unless you need to. There are some people who need to. Okay. In sentences like "it's crucial to be here," why do we use be instead of is? Do native speakers still use this subjunctive form nowadays? Yeah. It's a formal way of speaking. That's like talking about people who are not there. It's like talking about you without talking directly to you. So it's kind of a passive way of commanding. Okay? When you say, "it's crucial that you be here," that sounds more commanding and formal. Okay? That's really the purpose. What is the level of my Chinese? I don't know. I've never taken a test. I have no idea. Pro means forward. Crast means tomorrow. That's why procrastination means to wait until tomorrow. Is it correct that in the past time we can use a specific time, but not in the past perfect? Give me an example. I don't think I understand your question. Give me an example. Hello, Simon. Hello, Inessa. Okay. All right. Please be patient. Please be patient. Please be patient. If you're reading an English book, if you don't understand those words, what reading skills do you have? George, if you are reading a book and you don't understand, then get an easier book. Okay? George, when you're starting to read, in the beginning, you should read easy things. Try short stories. Don't try books. Try short stories and short articles. Okay? Books are maybe too much if you're new. Okay? But if you're talking about more advanced reading, you're not supposed to understand every word sometimes. That's the point of pushing yourself. There are books that I read that have words I don't know. I want that because I want to expand my language more. Okay? But you have to find a level that's a good balance for your ability. If you're trying to read something that's far beyond your ability, you're going to struggle too much and you're going to be too frustrated. Okay? Yes, it's starting to get cool. It's not cold yet, but it's getting cooler. Okay, yeah, Taylor's got the right answer for do and does. Right. Do you, do I, does he, does she, does it. Right? Do you, do we, do I, okay? Do they, but then you say does she, does he, does it. Okay? You visited one of my recommendations, ESL Fast. You'd like to know how to make the most of this site. Nisiro, I would say that for ESL Fast, you should try to find which level reading is good for you. ESL Fast is a website that's good for beginners to intermediate level. Okay, but it's not good for beyond that. It's pretty basic. So if you're a beginner to intermediate level, there are a lot of stories that you can read. Read the stories, learn the vocabulary, do the exercises. Boom, 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 Nisiro. I want you to finish as many stories as you can. That's how you can make the most of that site. Okay? What's the difference between patient and patience? Patient is, he is patient. Patience is something you have. He has patience. You should have patience. If you have patience, then you are patient. Okay? Be patient is a verb. Patient can also be an adjective to describe a person with patience. A person who has patience is a patient person. Okay? What's the funniest word in English? I don't know. I don't know. I'm not prepared for that question. How do I deal with snow? I don't deal with it. It's snow. It happens. Crust is an old word. You can't find it in the dictionary because it's not an English word, Asma. It's a Latin word or Proto-Indo-European word. So it's not in the dictionary. It's in the Latin dictionary. If you get a Latin dictionary, you'll find it. Okay? You read your kid's English book and you realize you can't recognize some words. Okay, so start recognizing. Start learning. Okay? All right. Wow, I finally caught up with the comments. All right. Is it normal that I don't understand people who speak English quickly like in movies? This makes me feel frustrated. It is very normal, Mary, because movies are not for learning. Mary, can you understand me right now? You can, I'm sure. If you can understand me, then you can understand English if it's good English. I'm an English teacher. It's my job. So I try to speak well. Okay? But a movie is not there to teach you. If movies were for education, then we would watch them in school. Do you watch movies in school? Do they let you watch Will Smith movies in school? No! No, we don't learn English from watching movies in school because that's not a good way, because those are for entertainment. Those are for entertainment, not for education. So that means the language in TV shows and movies is common English. Common English is not formal. Common English is not proper. Common English does not care about any rules at all. Common English is not correct on the test. If you use Common English to take your test, you will fail. Okay? There is formal English, proper English, and there is Common English. They are not the same. Every language does this. Okay? You should focus on learning proper English. That's what I'm teaching. Okay? Why? Because if you learn proper English, it will open any door. If you learn Common English, it will only open common doors. Okay? All right. Next question. Let's see. Can I explain about this structure? Michael and Jack. Where did you see this, Alex? That's not correct. There are two things wrong with that sentence. One, it says Michael, comma, and Jack, comma. It doesn't need a comma after Michael. If there are only two people, you just say Michael and Jack. No commas. And it should be Michael and Jack are teachers. Okay? Michael and Jack are teachers, or Michael and Jack are both teachers. Okay? So I don't know where you saw that, but that's not right. You can't see me. I don't know what happened. Try leaving the room. Come back. Sometimes I get confused between sentences like he must have forgotten and he might have forgotten. How can I know which one is the right? Must have is easy. Must have means did. He definitely did. He must have. That's more certain. When you say he must have, that means you feel certain that's what happened. Okay? He might have. That means I'm not certain. I don't know, but I think that's what happened. Or maybe that's what happened. Okay? So, must have, he must have forgotten. I feel sure that that's what happened. okay? He might have forgotten is, I don't feel sure, but it's possible that he forgot, okay? Should you be a master of English before creating a TikTok account as a Chinese? No, just start. Who cares? Just, do you know how many Americans have TikTok accounts and they don't have, their English is terrible. Nobody asks you to have good English. You can have the worst English in the world and start a TikTok account. So you don't have to have good English, just start. Starting will make you work more on your English. So start. And then you'll have more reason to practice. Okay? Misha, what's your question? You are, or Max is, a teacher. Is it correct? It's a very weird way to write something. First of all, it should have a question mark at the end, not a period, if it's a question. Second, like the way you wrote it, I'm wondering, is it a question or is it a statement? You are, or Max is, a teacher. But that's a weird statement. Why would you make that statement? Why would you say something that I don't know why anybody would say you are or he is a blah blah blah. It seems like a weird thing to say. I think the way we would say it, if we're asking a question, we would say, are you or is he a teacher? Okay? If you're making a statement, maybe you would say, you and Max are both teachers. Okay, so I don't know. Sometimes you guys are writing sentences that are kind of like, why? There's no context that that would ever happen. So grammatically, it doesn't matter what the answer is because that will never come up. So don't worry about it. And good morning, Lynn. How are you? Okay, let's see. If some can speak about anything with proper English, does that make them fluent? Shadow, there is no such thing as fluency. Fluency doesn't exist. Do you know why? Can anyone tell me how many words do you need to know to be fluent? How many? Is it 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 10,000, 10,001, 10,002? How many words? 2,000 to 3,000 to be fluent? No. No. Okay? So here's what I want you to understand. The word fluent is a terrible word. And the reason why is because you want it. You want to be fluent. But you can't define it. If you can't define it, then you can't achieve it. Fluency is a word that means nothing. He's fluent. What does that mean? So, for example, am I fluent? Am I fluent? Do you think I'm fluent? Okay, but Huang, if you ask me about astrophysics, I don't know anything about astrophysics. If you ask me about microbiology, I don't know anything about microbiology. If you ask me about Cambodian history between the years 1500 BC and 2000 BC, I don't know anything about those things. So if I don't know about them, I can't speak about them. So am I fluent? And how much grammar do you need to know to be fluent? Do you have to have perfect grammar? What if you make a mistake? Does that mean you're not fluent now? If your grammar is pretty good, can you be fluent? Do you see why I'm telling you that fluency is a stupid word? No, let me tell you what fluency really means. What you want, what you are describing, is called comfortability and confidence. That's what you are talking about. Forget the word fluent. Don't use it in my room anymore. It means nothing. Fluent means nothing. It's an island that you want to travel to that you can't get to because it doesn't exist. Okay? So, forget about fluency. What you want is confidence. What you want is comfortability. What you want is control. Confidence, comfortability, control. That is what you should be trying to get. Okay? Fluency means nothing. If you can't define it, then you can't achieve it. You can't define it. So forget about it. Okay, next question. Let's see. I cannot speak about everything. No one can speak about everything. You saw that example in a student's book. Well, I will tell you that in my time as a teacher, I have seen many books with mistakes, especially if they're from a foreign country. Okay? So many of the books that you are looking at, they might have mistakes in them, like that. Okay? Okay, next question. Alex, I gotta tell you, Alex, I don't understand what you're doing. You're not learning English, Alex. You're learning grammar. And that sentence is garbage. Michael, comma, and Jack, comma, is learning English. No! 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 Alex, that sentence is dog. It doesn't matter how you explain it if it doesn't exist in real life. Okay? That sentence does not exist in real life. So you're using grammar rules to explain something that isn't real. It would never happen. No actual native speaker, not even a professor of English, would ever write that sentence. No person would write that sentence. So it does not matter how you explain it if it's a stupid sentence to begin with. Okay? That might not be the answer you want, Alex, but that's the answer you need. I think you're focused on the grammar of language, Alex, but that's what we call looking at the leaves but not seeing the forest. You're not seeing the forest, Alex. Okay? You need to stop worrying about grammar, man. Language is not grammar. English is not grammar. English is it's music, man. It's music. Are you making music, Alex? With your language, are you making music? Because Michael, comma, and Jack, comma, is learning English. That's not music. That's not music. It doesn't sound good. Language must sound good. Rule 1. Rule 1. Can I describe third conditionals? I can, but what's the problem? Why don't you tell... I can describe third conditionals, but you can also Google it. Why don't you just Google it? They can explain third conditional to you. Or ask me a question about third conditional. What is it that you don't understand about third conditional? What do you not understand? Okay? You've seen this type of comment in writings? Well, I don't know what writings. Send it to me, Alex. Send it to me. Whatever you're looking at, please send it to me, because I want to see. I want to see this writing that you've seen like that, because I don't think so. No offense, but language is music. It's not math. I think you're learning the rules of English and trying to use them in a mathematical way. You are missing the point. When you learn the rules of music, you learn them to make music. When you learn the rules of language, you use them to make language, not to make math. Okay, creating sentences that could exist is not language. Okay? All right. I'm sorry, sometimes it's like, man, I don't know where that's coming from, but that's not English. Michael, comma, and Jack, comma, is, no. Nope. Next. Even in our mother tongue, if someone asks us about something we don't know, we can't answer. Right. Exactly. You heard that by practicing fluency comes naturally. I'm telling you, fluency is okay. Somebody asked me what's the dumbest word in the English language. All right, there's my answer. My answer is the word fluent. The word fluent is dumb because it doesn't exist. You can't define it. Do you want to know what the definition of fluent is? Let's see what it says. The definition of fluent is spoken or written with ease. Oh, okay. It's something you can do easily. I'm pretty sure I said that. Confidence, control, right? Those are the things I talked about, right? This says able to write or speak smoothly, easily, or readily. But again, how do you define that? So if I am not able to speak about microbiology, then I guess I'm not fluent. That's the definition. It's a terrible word. It means nothing. And it makes you think it does have a meaning. All of you, I want to be fluent. I want to be fluent. I don't know what fluency means. I have no idea how to get it. I don't know how many words it is. I don't know what to do, but I want it. That's what you're doing. Forget about the word fluency. It's a myth. It doesn't exist. Focus on progress. Focus on control. Focus on comfortability. Focus on confidence. Fluency is an illusion. I know what you need to Shadow. What is a mirage, everyone? A mirage. Fluency is a mirage. It's something you think you can see. It's something you think you can get to, but you can't. It's a mirage. Do you guys know that word? Mirage? If you're from the Middle East, you should know that word. Yeah, it's something that I think I see something up there. There's some trees. There's some trees and there's water. I see it. No, you don't. It's a mirage. Okay? You've been to it in Vegas, the Mirage? That's good, Fong. That's good. Okay. I hope you guys understand my point. I hope you understand my point. I've been doing this a long time, and I'm telling you, the word fluency has no real value. It's a word that just everybody wants it, but nobody knows how to define it. And everybody defines it differently, too. You know, if you do define it, everybody defines it differently. So, yeah. Anyway. Okay, next question. I have no idea how many vocabulary words I know. I don't know. Everybody knows different vocabulary. Okay, next question. No language don't have to sound good. Yes, it does. FTFT. It does. Language is just like music. Nobody wants to listen to bad music. All right? If your language sounds like music, people will want to listen to you. If your language sounds bad, not like music, people will not want to listen to you. Okay, what about, okay, wait a minute. Did I say grammar is not important? No. I said it's important sometimes. If you're taking a test, like the TOEFL test or the IELTS test, or you're in high school, then grammar is important. If you're in high school, if you're studying in college, grammar is important. Okay, so if you're in school or you're taking a test, grammar is important. If you are using English at work, if you're a lawyer or a doctor or an accountant and you use English, then grammar is important. But if you are at the park and you see your friend and you start talking to them in English, is grammar important at that moment? Not really. Wait a minute, let me make an announcement. Hold on. Life is not a grammar test. Life is not a grammar test. Okay? All right, next question. Most important is pronunciation. Yeah, but even pronunciation doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be clear. Okay? You do not need to sound like me. No. You just need to sound clear. That's all. Don't try to sound like me. Just try to make your words sound clear. Okay? All right. And that's right. Valeria says, I think grammar often paralyzes us. That's true. That's right. That's what I tell people. I tell people that if you worry about grammar, then you have two problems. Grammar and worry. So, don't worry about your grammar in daily life. Okay? In daily life. I don't want you to worry, because if you worry, now you have two problems. Grammar and worry. Okay? You think I have I do have a dog, but my dog is not here right now. He's at the dog park, I think, right now. So sorry, can't show you right now. Hello, Zoe, over there in my YouTube. You struggle to find the exact words when you use English, so don't use the exact words, Lizzie. Okay? Just find any words. Describe it. Okay? I have to do the same thing in Chinese all the time. Okay? There are many, many, many words that I don't know in Chinese. But I can talk about them. I can describe them. Okay? So you need to learn how to use the language you have to describe the words you don't know. All right? As an English learner, I used to focus on grammar and had problems with speaking, but my friend is the opposite, right? Yeah. All right. Would someone like to come on stage and ask me or talk to me? Well, I should say, would someone like to ask me a question? You have to have questions. Remember what I said. Good students have good questions. Or I should say, good students have questions. If you don't have questions, you are not a good student. Why do I say that? Do you know why I say that? Because if you have a question, it tells me that you have been thinking about your problems. It tells me that you have been trying to figure it out. If you have no questions, that tells me you are lazy and you want someone to just give you all the information. You want someone to just give you all the answers. So, masse, okay, so change. I want you to start having questions. So if you have a problem, you should have questions. Why is this hard? Why can't I do this? What's wrong with this? Why is this hard for me? Okay? I want you to think about what's difficult and why. And then you'll come up with a question. And then you come ask me. That's when you ask me. Then I can help you. All right? How can you find good self-learning material that's suitable for your English level? Go to my website. That's my website. 可是很多中国人他们需要用好特别的魔法。如果你要用我的网站，这是网站吗？我忘记。对，网站。So if you want to see my website, you can, Lizzie, but you might need to use a ladder. Okay? Hello, Ramadan. All right, let's see. Did someone raise their hand? No one raised their hand. Still nobody asking me questions. Ask your questions. It doesn't work. It does work. You have to copy and paste. Did you copy it? Copy it and paste it into your web browser. It does work. Okay? Look, I'll show you my website. I'm going to bring it up. I'll show it to you. This is my website. right here. Okay? A friend in every corner English coaching. You could buy lessons from me. If you want to buy lessons from me, you could buy lessons from me right here. Book online. If you want to read my blog, you can read my blog right here, my blog. If you want to study English, you can go to resources right here. But you have to subscribe first, okay? It's free. It's free, but you have to give me your email. After you subscribe, then you can go to the resources page. And look at that. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation, and TOEFL, IELTS TOEFL. Everything you need to study right here. Okay? Click on it and you'll see many, many resources. All right? So, go to my website and you should find everything you need. Okay? All right. What is the difference between a liability and an asset? An asset is something that has value to you. So he is an asset to our company, means he is valuable to our company. If I say, what are your assets, your financial assets? That means, what do you have that's worth money? Your house, your car, your stocks, your bonds, whatever you have. Those are your assets. Okay? Liabilities. Those are the things that you have. To be liable means to have guilt or to be responsible for something. So, if I say he's a liability, that means he's a risk. He's not an asset. He's a risk. Okay, so if I say he is a liability, that means this person, there's something about them that's risky for us to be involved with. All right? It's a risk. A liability is a risk of something going bad or wrong somehow. An asset is someone who's a powerful part of what you do. That they have talents and skills and abilities that make them valuable to you. They are an asset. Okay? Happy Sunshine. 我觉得如果你是中国人，我知道你需要用那个魔法。如果你要用我的网站 ，OK？ 对啊，对 ，yeah. Have I ever been to English Corner Abroad? What is that? Is that a website? Oh. Okay, again, if you have questions, ask me your questions. If you have questions, ask me your questions. Uh, 你要我说慢一点吗？我可以，可是我觉得如果你听我一些你可以听得懂，一些你听不懂，没关系，试试看，听得懂 ，OK， 试试看。All right, I want you to try to listen. Okay, sometimes I speak quickly, sometimes I speak slowly. All right. Okay, Ramadan, take care, my friend. Next question. How should we approach the mutual translation between Chinese and English? Beginners tend to rely on one-to-one correspondence method, but what's the rest of your question? 13 pictures? Or prefectures, sorry. Prefectures, not pictures. You can't remember words. How should you learn? You should go to my blog and you should read this article. If this article is too difficult for you, copy the article into ChatGPT, ask ChatGPT to help you understand my article. Okay? In reality, when I chat with foreigners in English, I can only understand a small part of them, and I can't express myself in English. You need more experience, Tiger. A man who never swims doesn't swim well. Do you understand, everybody? A man who never swims doesn't swim well. So sometimes you guys are saying, I don't feel comfortable when I speak. But you're never swimming in that water, so of course you're not comfortable. You're not comfortable because you never get in that water. Language is like water, okay? It's like a pool. And you have one pool here. This is your native language. This is your native language. That's your pool. You need to start swimming in the other pool, the English pool. If you never spend any time in that pool, then of course you cannot swim. That's the problem. Is you want to swim, but you never get in the water. Understand? What is the exact pronunciation of ordinal numbers? First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. I could go on. Okay? First, second, third, fourth, fifth. The fifth is the hard one. And sixth. Because you have to say fifth, fifth, fifth. Then sixth, sixth, sixth. It's hard. Okay? Sixth. You want to answer the other side, but you can't express it completely in English. Not yet. Not yet, Tiger. Babies are not born speaking well. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes patience. Keep trying. Okay? Keep trying. Okay, next, Hish. Hish wants to ask me a question. Hish.
I just want to join just for tell you something. You are the best teacher I see today.
Wow. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. Now I will leave for listening.
Oh, well, thank you. All right. Well, that was nice. All right.
Yeah, that's a message.
Thank you very much, Hish. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
By the way, I'm just in this software for improving my English. I'm just a beginner, so I'm Arab. The first language is Arabic and the second language is French. And I'm improving my English I have a test after 6 months.
Wow.
They need advanced level in my field. My field is cybersecurity.
Oh, wow.
So,
okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you sound great. You sound great. Hish. Just keep working on it. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your comments.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Good luck.
Take care, my friend.
Thank you.
Okay, that was nice. I know sometimes I'm a little bit strong. The way I teach, sometimes I'm a bit passionate, and sometimes I'm direct. So, for example, I hope I didn't offend Alex. Alex, if you're still here. Alex, I can tell that your English is great, Alex. I just think that you seem to be focused on the wrong things. Learning a language is like learning a musical instrument, okay? And in music, do you guys know about jazz music? Jazz music is a kind of American music, okay? And it's a very expressive kind of music. It's very expressive music. You have to listen to it and feel it, okay? And we have a saying about jazz. We say, talking about jazz is like dancing about architecture. Talking about jazz is like dancing about architecture. Do you know what that means? It means when you see a building, architecture is buildings. When you see a building, does that building, when you see it, do you go, oh, this building makes me want to dance. I'm going to dance because this building is so nice. I'm going to dance. Ah, this building makes me dance. No, you just look at the building and you appreciate the building. Jazz is like that. It's music. You don't talk about it. You don't analyze it. You listen to it and you feel it. So, language is kind of like that too. That sometimes you should learn the rules. I want you to learn the rules. But I don't want you to think that the rules are everything. The rules are not everything. Okay? And if you're focused on the rules, you're trying to talk about the music instead of listening to it and feeling it and letting it make you feel something. Okay? It's for playing, it's for listening, it's for experiencing. But language is the same. Okay? When you analyze language too much, it's kind of like you're killing the heart of it. You're focused so much on the analysis of it that you're missing the picture completely. Okay? I'm not telling you that you shouldn't learn grammar. I am telling you that there is a point when grammar becomes a little bit stupid. If you're talking about sentences that never exist, why? Why? Okay, like for example, there are some chords on a piano that I could play that I can explain, but they don't sound good. If I take my hand like this and hit the keys on the piano, it's not going to sound good, but I can explain it. I can tell you what I'm doing. I can tell you the theory about what's happening. Just because I can explain it doesn't mean it's good. It still sounds bad. It still sounds bad. So there are some things that I can explain, but that doesn't mean that you should. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. It's an important lesson in music. It's an important lesson in language. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Okay? Okay, okay. If you're new and you don't know who I am, hi, my name is Teacher Mark. I am a real teacher. I am from the United States. I have been on Hello Talk for more than 12 years. I have been on live streams here for about 5 years. I have done more than 1,200 live streams. 1,200, more than 1,200 live streams. I have done more than 2,000 hours. 2,000 hours here teaching. So, if you are new, follow. People come every day. Many of these people are here every day. All right? Or every day I'm here. I'm here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday. I'm not here on Sunday. Do I know how many vocabulary I have? I don't know, Leslie. I have no idea. None. Nobody counts vocabulary words. No one. Okay? Nobody knows. Everybody has different vocabulary. My sister, my brother, my father, my mother, me, we all have different vocabulary. There are words I know that my mother doesn't know. There are words my mother knows that I don't know. There are words my father knows that I don't know. And there are words I know that my father doesn't know. Okay? Language is different. It's unique. It's an experience of life. So everybody's experience is different. Okay? All right. Let's see. Eddie Palmieri, that's right, yeah. Just because we don't give up doesn't mean you win. Learning is never about winning. There is no winning in learning. Learning is about growing, not winning. There is no winning. This is not a game. This is about growth, about development. Okay? What do I do on Sundays? Sunday is my day off. Yeah, that's my day to do nothing. Well, that's not true. I'm always busy. I always have a lot to do. But Sunday is the one day I don't teach. Okay? Every other day I have to teach. All right, guys. What? Let's see. How long have I been here? What time is it? I think I've been here about 2 hours. Yeah. And if you're still over in my YouTube channel, hello to all my YouTube people. I do have a YouTube channel. I do have a podcast. I do have a blog. I do have a website. If you go to my Linktree, I'll just give you all of them. So here is my YouTube. And here is my website. And here is my blog. Okay? I'm drinking iced coffee. Okay, once again, if you have a question, ask me. If you're new, follow. Okay? There are not many real teachers on HelloTalk. There are some, a few, but not many. Most people who are on HelloTalk are just regular natives. They don't know anything about teaching or English, really. I mean, they know what they've learned, but learning a language and teaching a language are very different. Okay? So, I do have, is it a common structure? Yes. Possibly. I do have a car. I do have homework. I do have things to do. I do have plans this weekend. I do have, but we often drop the do. And we just say, I have plans this weekend. I have homework. I have things to do. So, you can say I do have. But there are times in English when occasionally we add words that are redundant words. That means that you don't need to say them. So if I say I do have homework and I have homework, they mean the same thing. Okay? The only difference is you added an extra word. Why would we do that? Sometimes it's to clarify. So if someone says, oh, you don't have homework, right? You don't have homework. You could say, I do have homework. But in most cases, we would just say, I have homework. We would leave the do out. Okay, unless we need to clarify, unless we need to tell somebody, yes, I do. Okay? Which link do I recommend? For YouTube, I don't know anybody on YouTube except me. So I recommend me. I don't spend any time on YouTube watching anybody. I don't have time for that. I'm too busy. So, is it useful to recite words? Some people say it's useful to watch movies. It depends on what words you're reciting. But yeah, it can be. Of course. That's how actors learn. Actors memorize and recite the words. Shakespeare. To be or not to be. Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo? Right? Those are words that are memorized and you recite them and you learn from them. So it can help. Yes. Sober debate and pamphlets, what does it mean? Sevcat, I don't know where you saw that. Pamphlets, it should be P-A-M-P-H-L-E-T-S. A pamphlet is like a little booklet, like kind of like this. This is like a pamphlet, kind of. This is not a pamphlet. This is a manual, but a pamphlet is similar to this. It's like a small folded piece of paper, book kind of a thing. Okay, now sober debate. Sober is a word that means not affected by anything. So in this case, sober debate would be debate that's talking about serious things in a serious way. Okay? Listening, speaking, reading, writing, and translation need to be learned together. Leslie, there are 8. There are 8 things that you need to learn together. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, and pronunciation. Reading, writing, listening, speaking, thinking, grammar, vocabulary, pronunciation. Those are the 8. What's the difference between maize and corn? Maize is kind of the old word. It's the Native American Indian word for corn, but we don't often use it. Corn is the common word that we always use. Now, technically, there is a difference between maize and corn, but most people don't know the genetic difference between them, right? Maize is an older variety of corn that was used more for drying, not for fresh, right? But that's the original word, okay? The Native American word, okay? All right. Any other questions? Again, if you have questions about reading, ask me. If you have questions about grammar, ask me. If you have questions about vocabulary, ask me. If you have questions about pronunciation, ask me. You should have questions. If you don't have questions, you should ask yourself, why don't I have questions? Strange. The word you wrote is M-A-Z-E. That's a different word. M-A-I-Z-E is the original ancient word for corn. Let me see, where does that come from? Is it from Native American or maybe it's from South America? Let's find out. M-A-I-Z-E, maize, 1550s. So it's a Cuban Spanish word from the Haitian language. So Haiti now, a long time ago, they had another language there called Arawakan, and in Arawakan on Haiti, the word was M-A-H-I-Z, maize. And that became this Cuban Spanish word M-A-I-Z, maize, and that became the English word M-A-I-Z-E, maize. And it's the kind of ancient Indian corn. Okay? What is a vaudeville show? You spelled it wrong, but I think I know what you mean. Sevkit, vaudeville was a type of performance from America in the I'm going to say around the 1910s. Let me see, when was vaudeville? Vaudeville years. No. 1880s to 1930s. Okay, so it started a little bit earlier than that. So in the late 1800s, 1880, through the 1930s, there was a style of performance on stage called vaudeville. And it was a mixture of dancing, singing, acting, and comedy. That's what vaudeville show is. It's an old kind of performance in America that involved live music, live comedy, live acting, live singing. Okay? How do I say pronunciation of your name? Hish? I would say Hish. Is it Hish? I assume? Hish? Manu, you cannot ask that question. That's not a question for me to answer. I'm an English teacher. I'm not interested in answering that question. How about that? And, Manu, if you know about Indian history, and I do, you should check your own history, because your history also has this same confusion. There is a third gender in India, and has been for a long time. So, why is meter spelled as meter? John Constantine, the words in English are sometimes spelled differently depending on if it's an American pronunciation or an American spelling or a British spelling. Okay, so, for example, well, let me check something. Hold on. So, right, that's right. That's what it is. M-E-T-R-E is the British spelling. M-E-T-E-R is the American spelling. I just wanted to make sure that I was correct about that. But they mean the same thing. They're just spelled differently. We have many words like that. Like the word color. 颜色. Color. In English, American English, it's C-O-L-O-R. In British English, it's C-O-L-O-U-R. Favorite. The word favorite in American English, F-A-V-O-R-I-T-E. In British English, F-A-V-O-U-R-I-T-E. There are some words that we spell differently. Okay. In speaking and writing, is it better to use phrasal verbs or simple verbs? Simple verbs always work. Phrasal verbs can work if you know the right ones, but sometimes people use the wrong ones. So, I would say simple verbs are always useful. You can describe it without the phrasal verb, but sometimes phrasal verbs make it a little easier. Okay? Okay. Next question. Yeah, I know, stupid. I removed Manu because Manu's a stupid little boy. Anyway, What does building a cactus cage around her mean? I've never heard that, but I can imagine what it means. What are cactuses? Cacti. Sorry, cacti. Cacti are plants that have thorns that hurt, right? So if you touch a cactus, ow, it hurts, right? So if you build a cactus cage around her, that means you are you're putting her in a cage. You're keeping her. You're preventing her from getting away. You're enslaving her. You're capturing her. You're kidnapping her. You're keeping her. Okay, that's what building cactuses around her would mean. Okay? Talk about the phrasal verbs that use run and look. There are many. There are many. One moment. Run away, run out, run into, run on, run over, run through, run across, run around, run down, run after, run off, run up, run to, run with, run against. There are many. They mean different things. Run away means to run away from home. I'm not happy. I'm going to run away from home. Run out means I need to run out and get some milk. Means I need to go quickly to do something, to run out. Okay? Run into. Yesterday I ran into my friend. That means I saw my friend. I haven't seen him and I happened to run into. I saw him. Okay? To run on. Your sentence is a run-on sentence. That means it's too many words for one sentence. Okay, now technically that's not the right way to use it. That should be a hyphen, but whatever. Run over. Yesterday my dog was run over by a car. Okay? Yeah, I know you can't remember all that. That's why I'm trying to show you that there are many. And you can't learn them all like that. But what you should do is this. One moment. Let's take away this. No. One moment. Try this page. Try that page. That page can help you with phrasal verbs. Okay? Okay. Guys, sometimes I speak fast because there are so many questions. Do you understand? There are 95 people here, and I have answered more than 100 questions today. I have to speak fast sometimes, because if I don't, I won't be able to answer all the questions. Okay? So, try to listen to what you can understand. All right? You don't want to learn, okay, then don't learn. Nobody is making you. How long have you been married to Jack? How long were you married to Jack? Well, if you say, were you married, that means you're not married anymore. If you say, how long have you been married, that means you're still married. Okay? How long were? Were is past tense. So that means it's done, it's over, it's finished. How long have you been? It's still continuing. Okay? In British English, can the contraction I've talking about, I've nothing to do with that. Yeah, Carlos, they do that sometimes. British people will sometimes use I've nothing to do with that, or I've nothing to say. I've nothing, but Americans very rarely. I won't say never, but I'll say very rarely do Americans say I've in that sense. Okay? In we say I've, but I've been there. I've got a lot of homework to do, but we won't say it in this formal way. I've nothing to do with that. Unless maybe I might use that if I want to be extra formal and the formality makes it stronger. Sometimes Americans will do that. Sometimes when we use very formal language, it's because we're angry or we're upset. And so the when we use a stronger, more formal language, it sounds more upset. I've nothing to do with that. As opposed to, I don't have anything to do with that. Okay? Could I speak faster? 可以. But now everybody's asking me, can I speak slower? Can I speak faster? Okay, let's see. Listening to a podcast or movie, what we can't recognize and understand. I will say you should try to listen to things that you can understand mostly. Here is my formula. 70, 20, 10. Repeat after me. 70, 20, 10. 70% of the things you practice should be right in your neighborhood. So if your level is B1 or B2, then 70% of your practice should be B1 or B2. But 70, 20, 10. 20% of your practice can be below your level. Easy stuff. Okay? Why? Because it's good to practice easy things because they give you confidence. It's good to practice easy things because they make you feel like you are making progress. So, 70% of what you do should be right in your neighborhood, right in your level. 20% can be below your level. 10% can be above your level. Something difficult. So try something really hard. All right? 70, 20, 10. All right? How many languages do I speak? I speak English. And I speak really bad Chinese really well. So I speak Chinese poorly, but I speak it really, really well. And then I know a little bit about many other languages. Just a little bit. Okay? What does church mean? Church is a slang word that means, sometimes we say church, sometimes we say preach. And that means, I agree. That means what he said is like when you hear the priest, if the priest in church says something really great, and you say, yeah, that's right. That's right. What he said is right. That's church. That's church. That's preach, man. Preach. Tell him. Tell him. Church, man. So what you're saying is if somebody says church, they're saying, I agree. What he's saying is really, really true. Preach is P-R-E-A-C-H. P-R-E-A-C-H. Preach. To preach means to give a speech that's some kind of a moral speech, right? You're telling people about good and bad. That's preaching, okay? You should do this, you shouldn't do that. Those are preaching, okay? Don't describe it as so emotional. Don't describe what as so emotional, Elizabeth. Am I preaching now? Maybe. Sometimes, yeah, if you hear me say something, right? Like if you hear me say, good students have questions, you could say, preach. That means, yeah, I agree with what Teacher Mark said. Okay? Am I preaching now? No, I'm teaching now. Teaching and preaching are different. Preaching is about morals. And teaching is about learning. Okay? Hello, Double V. Okay. How can you do a plan for improving your English confidence from B2 to C1? Pure, I can't really give you an answer for that because I don't know you. So I can't give you any valuable advice if I don't really know you. So what I will tell you is that if you want me to make a study plan for you, I can. But you have to buy a lesson. Buy a 30-minute lesson. Buy one 30-minute lesson, and then I will talk to you and learn about you, and then I can give you a plan. But if I don't know you, I can't give you a plan. So, buy one lesson, and I'll give you a plan. All right? If I say preach or church, that means I agree with you and that's true. Yeah, but it's a slang thing, Miriam. I very rarely say either of those things, right? I rarely say preach, man, preach, or church, man, church. I don't say that. But you could, okay? But it's very slang. It's very informal, okay? Elizabeth, 如果你不要学英文，为什么你这里啊？现在你这里为什么？你要学英文吗？What is the most difficult grammar rule that I think students struggle with even at high English level? Ooh, that's a hard one. Let me look at something. Phrasal verbs are usually considered very difficult because there is no rule. There's no rule for phrasal verbs, so that's why they're so hard to learn, right? Irregular verbs, those are sometimes hard for people to memorize, all the different irregular verbs that don't use ed, right? For advanced things, maybe split infinitives. I'm going to have to explain what that means now, but split infinitives is it's when you're placing an adverb between to and the verb, to boldly go. But it's one of those things that, like, again, many people don't know what they are. Many natives don't know what they are, and many people don't even know the rule. So, but it's a pretty difficult thing to explain. Yeah. All right, next. What's next? You guys are too nice. I don't know who this cute guy is you're talking about. Where's this cute guy? Nali, Nali. I don't see any cute guy. You're a 40-year-old beginner and you can understand what I said. Is it because I am too simple? No. It is because I am good. It's my job. It's my job, everybody. Inversion. Inversion's not that bad. Inversion's not that bad. Inversion's fun, you know? Tomorrow I want to go to the store. I want to go to the store tomorrow. Sometimes I listen to music. I listen to music sometimes, you know? That's just the beauty of flipping the language. You just flip things, you know? Why am I talking so excitedly? 因为我有热气，你没有热气吗？这是我的工作，和我非常喜欢我的工作，我爱教英文，这是为什么？ Why can you understand my English? Okay. You can understand me because it's my job. I try to be understood. I try to speak well. I think about my words carefully. Most people don't. Most people don't. I try not to speak too quickly. I try to use words that everyone can understand. And my accent. There are about 30 accents in the United States. But this one is called the Midwestern Ohio accent. This accent it's the closest accent to standard IPA pronunciation. The IPA is the International Phonetic Alphabet. My pronunciation is very close to the same as the IPA pronunciation. Okay? So, and there's one more reason. Because this microphone and the equipment that I use, I am a musician. I'm a teacher. I'm also a drummer. Look behind me. What is that? Oh my goodness. I am a professional musician and a professional teacher. I use professional equipment for this. This microphone is the same microphone that they use on CNN or BBC. Okay? That's why. It's very, very clear. All right, look. I have this iPad with all these wonderful faders on it that I can adjust my sound, and I can adjust the EQ, and I can adjust the compression, and I can make everything, you know, I can add effects to my voice like this. So now I can sound like God. There is no teacher who doesn't love his work. Elizabeth, that's not true. Elizabeth, you think that every teacher that you had loved teaching? 奇怪， 奇怪奇怪奇怪，不是。No. If you have 100 teachers, if you have 100, maybe 10 are good. If you have 100, maybe 10 are good and love what they do. The rest of them are just doing it just like a job. It's true. I'm sorry. But most teachers are not that good because most teachers don't have a passion. Most teachers don't really care. They don't. I know that. You know that. We all have felt that. Have you ever had a teacher that didn't care? If you didn't, you're very lucky. Because I had many. I had many teachers that didn't really care. Elizabeth, I feel like you have, like, maybe, are you upset, Elizabeth? Are you having a bad day? Is there something about me that you don't like? It seems like you have a problem with me. Masa thinks I'm likable, but not everybody does. There are lots of people who don't like me, but that's okay. Anyway, if every teacher, if that were true, and every teacher loved their work, we would have no troubles in schools, but we have trouble in school everywhere in the world. What's the beauty of the English language in my eyes? English is a very detailed language. That's why it's a beautiful language. Because English allows you to express yourself sometimes more clearly. And I can't say this is true for every language. I'm just saying that there are some other languages that I feel like can't express as well. And I have some students who have told me the same thing. I have a couple of Chinese students who have told me that they feel like they can express their feelings better in English than in Chinese because there are more words to use. There are other words to use that they don't even have in Chinese. There are some words you can't translate between different languages, right? So I think the beauty of the English language is its versatility and anyway. Elizabeth, how old are you? 你几岁? Ali says English has mostly a simple structure. I think, Ali, I think that depends on what language you're comparing it to. The structure of English is more complicated than the structure of Chinese. Yeah. But, yeah. Elizabeth, if you don't like it here, then please leave. Okay? Elizabeth, tell me you hear me. 你听得懂我说什么吗? If you don't like what I say, 没关系，你可以去，好不好？Wearing headphones this long makes me uncomfortable. My ears get too warm. How do you stand it? Sevket, that's because these are special studio headphones. These are designed for recording studios. And when you're in a recording studio, sometimes you must wear headphones for many, many, many hours. So these are very, very comfortable, and you can see they're big so that my ears are not, they don't feel bad at all. They feel fine. These are very comfortable. I could fall asleep with these on. Yeah. Are you telling me to be polite, or are you telling Elizabeth to be polite? Yeah, we're telling her to be polite. No, I'm not going to kick her out. I'm not going to kick her out. I just want to know what her problem is. I just want to know what's her problem. Like, why do you not like me? Elizabeth, what is your problem? 什么了? Why 你很生气？为什么？我做什么？我告诉什么？ What did I say? What did I tell? What did I do? I didn't do anything. I don't know. I have no idea. This little girl came here and just seems to be very upset with me. Why are you so passionate? Why are you so excited? Why can't you talk like quieter? Elizabeth, if you don't like it here, go. You don't have to stay. Nobody's making you stay. Okay, yeah, Elizabeth, okay? Everyone else is okay with me. Everyone else is fine with my excitement. So, I'm sorry that you don't like my excitement, Elizabeth. I'm going to help you with that now, okay? I'm going to help you now, okay, Elizabeth? Can I help you? I'm going to help you, okay? Bye. Let's see. I have good vibes. Thank you. I like to think I have good vibes. Obviously, not everybody thinks I have good vibes. Elizabeth really didn't like me. How weird. Isn't that weird? I love when I see somebody who's passionate. Don't you? If I see somebody who's really passionate, I don't care what they do. If they fix cars, if they're passionate, I think that's amazing. If they play a guitar, if they're passionate, I think that's amazing. If they teach and they're passionate, I think that's amazing. So, what's the problem with this girl? Weird. Weird. But she's gone now. I helped her. I helped her. Anyway. All right, guys, I have been here for 2 hours and 22 minutes. So I'm going to go, but before I go, if you don't like me, like Elizabeth doesn't like me, then you can not follow me on my Linktree, or you can not follow me on my Buy Me a Coffee blog, or you can not follow me on my website, or you can not follow me on my YouTube. If you don't like me, then don't follow me on those. If you do like me, you can follow me. I think poor Elizabeth needed a nap. Somebody needed to change her diaper. Okay, guys. I think that's going to be about it for me today. All right? No, it's iced coffee. I'm drinking iced coffee. I always drink iced coffee. Okay? In the morning. I don't like morning, and morning does not like me. So I need coffee. Okay. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for following. Thank you for participating. Have a good morning. Have a good afternoon. Have a good evening. I will be back tomorrow. I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and sometimes Saturday. Okay? Now, maybe I'm busy and I'm not here. Maybe I'm tired and I'm not here. Maybe I feel sick and I'm not here. But I am usually here. I have done 1,220 something live streams. I have done 2,000 hours of streaming and teaching here. So I am here a lot. And you can go to my YouTube if I'm not here. So tomorrow, maybe tomorrow I will feel sick and I won't be here. So if I'm sick and I'm not here, then you can go to my YouTube channel and watch a YouTube video instead. It's just like this. It's just like this. Okay? So, I'm sorry that we had such a bad experience with Elizabeth here at the end. I don't know what her problem was. She genuinely seemed like she had a problem with me. I don't know why. I don't know what I did to Elizabeth. But, oh well. You can't please everybody. You can't please everybody. Okay, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys next time, okay? Bye.